let me cut to the chase. I'm moving. Hi everybody, I'm Oliver, this is Chaotic Bibliophile, and today I bring you a very particular type of TBR. This is my project for the first 3 months of this year, 2024, which is not this year because I'm filming in December 2023, but I don't know when this video will be up. Regardless, we're doing this. It's going to be chaotic. There's so many books I am going to mention that I am probably not going to list them down below, so I'm sorry about that. I always try and do that. Here's the thing. There are so many books here that I will gladly move around because I'm like, yes, I definitely want to get to that book. I don't know what type of space I'll have for my books, so I just need to get rid of as many of them as I can. I already do call my red shelves all the time. These are all books that I've considered at some point or another getting rid of, and then I haven't. And so this time, I will start reading a few chapters, make a decision. If I want to keep reading them, then yes, I will read them along that time. But if I just get the sense that like, oh, it's not for now, or like, oh, I don't feel this, then I'm just gonna. The first one is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. I tend to like Agatha Christie a lot. It's just that, do I need to carry her books around? I can just borrow them from the library. I might read this because I know it's one of her big ones, but if I do, then I'll read it pretty quickly and then. This is the only reread on this list, and it's Exteriors by Annie Arnaud. I read this a while ago, and while I was culling my red shelves, I was thinking about whether I wanted to get rid of this or not. And my first instinct was yes, but then I actually started like paging through it and seeing some of my notes, and I was like, oh yeah, actually I did like some of it. I did feel overall lukewarm on it, but I returned to it enough that I decided I needed to read it again in order to decide. Then I need to keep reading In Their Shoes by Jamie Windust, Navigating Non-Binary Life. I was really excited about this because I picked it up when I first came out as non-binary during that 1 month. Still, I'm very interested in all sorts of trans experiences, but I remember thinking this was not really well written and I really need to revisit this ASAP because my bar for memoirs in general and transgender memoirs in particular has skyrocketed because I've read so many great ones that we'll see how I feel about it. Confessions of the Fox by Jordi Rosenberg. To be fair, I've only heard amazing things about this one, but it personally doesn't call to me. Maybe it's because it's historical fiction. I just think I need to give it a go. I do like some historical fiction. I don't know what it was about this one that made me think I wouldn't like it. It's time to find out. 2 short story collections that I purchased for my Edge Hill Prize project that I never finished. Yeah, life's like that sometimes. One is Dark Neighborhood by Vanessa Onwemezi, and then the other is Am I in the Right Place by Ben Pester. So we'll see. Then we have The Circle by Dave Eggers. It's like sort of classic novel, well, not classic, but like it's a contemporary classic, we can say, about surveillance and tech company that is very dystopian. I just heard that it's a mess, like that the concept is really interesting, but the book is kind of a mess. I'm gonna get roasted for this one. Hasta la Alma, the book. I don't know what the title in English is, but in Spanish it's like It's Not a River, the literal translation, or No es un río. Everyone loves Selva Almada, including people I so trust, but for some reason, even with this amazing cover, I have had this book for so long and I never read it. I just don't. I need to pick it up. Murmur by Will Eves. This was in my TBR for Pride Month this year. I started it and I was enjoying it. I just sort of put it down and then I never felt the need to pick it up again. And so I just need to know if I'm going to like keep reading it or not. Then The Ghost of Frederick Chopin by Eric Fay. This I bought because it seemed like a romp, but I've never wanted to pick it up. I don't know. It's Pushkin Press, so that gives me great hope. And it is about music, but I haven't had the best luck with like novels about music necessarily, so we'll see. Then another one that I started reading, Avoid by Georges Perec, that famous novel without the letter E. I've heard it's really fun. It's just that the context in which I read it was the masters, and by the time I got to this one, I was pretty done with it, and so I just didn't read it. Because of that, it's sort of tainted, and so I feel like I should give it a go. Then I have a lot of proofs from the shop just in case, but again, now I need to make up my mind. One is I'll Do Anything You Want by Yolanda Batale. This is about a woman who becomes a sex worker. It's inspired by Anna Isnin, so it's supposed to be sexy but also like mysterious, and I don't know, it just doesn't sound like much of my thing, but also kind of does. Then Where I End by Sophie White. This is Irish psychological and physical horror. It's supposed to be about motherhood. It does look interesting, but also it has like white pages. This is the proof, so it might be just this. I do like Tramp Press a lot because they publish Sarah Baum. The hero of this book by Elizabeth McCracken. This is a novel about a writer and her mother, and I wasn't particularly interested in reading it. I mean, I was toying with it, but then I listened to a podcast episode of Book Fights with her as a guest, and I liked her so much. I was like, oh, I will check out her novel at some point, and then I never did. I also have Now Is Not the Time to Panic by Kevin Wilson. I've been meaning to check out Nothing to See Here for a while, which is his previous novel about children that spontaneously combust. This is about activism and art making, and again, I heard like mixed things. Lucia Rico's Foul Eulogies started really strong, and I thought I was going to read it right away. That's why I picked it up at that time. We had like a spare copy. I never did read it. This is ecological. It actually looks amazing. Okay, maybe this doesn't fulfill the challenge because it is making me want to pick it up right now, but I already put it in the pile, so there you go. If you are wondering how many of these books there are, originally there were supposed to be 30, but then I couldn't stop, so yeah. Books I'm sort of in the middle of and I need to make up my mind. Love in the Big City by Sang-Yong Park. This is about a gay guy and his best friend who gets pregnant. I don't know why I didn't keep reading it, like it's a lot of my thing, but that's the thing, whenever I thought about like picking it up, I was like, I don't know. That whole Murakami effect, oh, if you pass up a book, then it's like really hard to pick it up, which is not always the case, but sometimes it is. Like The Love of Singular Men by Victor Heringer. This is a proof that I asked for, and I was really enjoying it, but then I put it down and then I never wanted to pick it up again. I just need to force myself to read this because I know once I get into it, I love it. Open Throat by Henry Hogue. This is about like a gay mountain lion and it's written in verse. I thought when we received it that what is happening? It's gotten really good reviews. How I Won a Nobel Prize by Julius Taranto. This is actually out in February next year, so if I do end up reading it, will be very topical. Sounds good actually, but I did think about getting rid of it because I just kind of didn't remember it. That actually sounds really good. So does Colin Barrett's Wild Houses. It's just another one of those books that I took sort of just in case because Colin Barrett writes short stories and is Irish and Blurred by Kevin Barry. And I will do whatever Kevin Barry says. He's also blurred by Sally Rooney, Brandon Taylor, Douglas Stewart, Anne Enright, and Elaine Feeney. I trust Kevin Barry. Hopefully he won't lead me astray. Eleanor Catson's Birnam Wood. This is the thing. If any other author had pitched me this novel, I would be like, no, I don't want that. However, I do love Eleanor Catson and I love how she writes. And so many people have said this is amazing. So we'll see. The Sentence by Louise Erdrich is supposed to be really fun, meta, about a bookshop, really bookish. I haven't read any Louise Erdrich. I thought I would start here, but then I never picked up the book, and whenever I thought about it, I felt a bit tedious about it. I feel like once you taint these books with that attitude, then you just don't want to anymore. Yeah, that's what this project is all about. Bored Gay Werewolf by Tony Santorella sounds ridiculous, but it's gotten really good reviews. It was selling really well at the bookshop and we had a spare copy. My Name is Lucy Barton by Elizabeth Strout. I loved all the Kitteridge. So I don't know why I'm so reluctant to pick more Elizabeth Strout. Yeah, books I'm in the middle of, more of them. Breast and Eggs by Miyako Kawakami. I had started this, I was budding reading it with Amelia from Amelia Reads. I was really enjoying it, but she didn't like it, so she bailed, which is completely fair. It's just that instead of continue reading it, which is what I should have done, I just stopped, and now I just can't see myself picking it up again, which it's ridiculous because I was enjoying it. Chilean Poet by Alejandra Zambra, and I felt very ambivalent about this book. Again, I need to continue reading it or actually bail on it. At some point I started Tokyo Ueno Station, but I decided then, oh no, I did start it. I thought I had decided that I've decided now. If I'm gonna read it, I need to start over because I remember what it's about, but I don't remember anything else. And I think at that point, you might as well start over. Building 46 by Masood Hayun. I've thought about picking it up so many times and I never actually do. Yeah, I don't know what. Because it's like a ghost story. And I don't know, I'm very meh about ghost stories. Bani by Mona Watt. This actually wasn't on this list until I tried listening to Rouge and I just bailed because it was just okay. The Farewell Symphony by Edmund White. I was really, really loving this. Do I leave? Yeah, I did leave my bookmark in here. I would continue this from the chapter that I left off because I do remember like a lot of it. I was actually really enjoying it. It was just that situation where I was reading it for my master's and we know how that went. Okay, I have a couple more than a couple more. John Crow's Devil by Marlon James, one of the lesser known Marlon James. I don't know why I got this. It's because, okay, I kind of know. It's because I was listening to the Marlon and Jake Read Dead People podcast in Edinburgh, and I wanted to buy Seven Histories, but the bookshop that I was at only had this one, and I was like, oh, that's one that I hadn't heard about. Okay, let's do that, even though I could have just waited. The Passion of New Eve by Angela Carter. I've been about to get rid of this book so many times because it just seems like I won't like it, but then look at that cover and it's queer and it's possibly trans, so I was like, I need to read this, but also I don't want to read this. But then why don't I want to read this? Angela Carter is great. Ernesto by Humberto Saba. I've heard mixed things and I don't know, it just sounds like the sort of thing that I really would have liked as a teenager. The bad aspects of Giovanni's Room without all the merits of Giovanni's Room. Very like bleak version of queerness with some real like age gap sort of thing, which, you know, again, as a teen, I was like, ooh, yes. But now I'm like, ugh, really? We'll see. Treatment, a novel by Adrian Bridget. This I bought in Portugal, and honestly, it's a remnant of those times where I read hardcore experimental novels. Okay, this is why I need to get rid of books. I'm not saying I don't like that anymore at all. It's just that I rarely reach for it. Then After Sappho by Selby Wynne Shorts. I was really committed to reading this, like even before the shortlist was announced, because this was nominated for the Booker, not this year or the year 2021. I want to say maybe 2022. Anyways, it's just that whenever I'm going to pick it up, I never end up picking it up. It sounds like something I would enjoy because it's like about different artists through time, and including Virginia Woolf, and you know I love Virginia Woolf, so I don't know, but it's the kind of thing where like after you've passed it up a few times, will you ever pick it up? We'll see. Callokine by Karen Boy. I bought this mainly because it was like dystopian and it had a Hilma af Klint picture, but I've never felt much inclination to pick it up. It's one of those shameful buys, but if it's great, I'm gonna be glad I bought it. 7 Moons of Mali Almeida. This is supposed to be good. I was always of the mindset that I would maybe read it one day until I found this almost like new hardcover copy for £2 at Books Peckham. I had to pick it up and now I need to follow through. Monica by the same author, Danielle Klaus, the author of Ghost World. We got this proof, and it's not a proof, it's like a publicity copy. I don't know, it's very old school. I don't really read this style of graphic novels anymore, but he's such a classic, So I was just like, okay, I'll give it a shot. Maybe it's wonderful. I think it's being well reviewed. The Invisibility Cloak by Jeff Fay, translated by Kanan Morse. This I bought because it was on sale at the Foyles Gower Street, and it did sound really interesting. It's about wealth and set in Beijing. And then 2 Europa editions. One is Whale by Chon Myung-Kwang. This has had a lot of mixed reviews. I got it because I was supposed to read the entire long list of the 2023 Booker International, and I never did it. And so will I ever read this book? Well, now we'll see. And then similarly, Kevin Chen's Ghost Town. I was legitimately really into reading this book, but then I started hearing a lot of bad things, or like mixed or lukewarm things at best. And so now whenever I look at it, I'm like, this is why exactly I need this challenge. I need to just pick it up, bite the bullet, maybe I'll love it and then devour it, and if not, it has to go. Okay, I know that was a lot of books, but I'm actually looking forward to this project. Hey, this is Oliver from the future. Just wanted to say very quickly that this project is going great so far. So I filmed this video at the end of 2023, sometime in December. And since then, I've already gotten rid of so many of the books, or have started some of them to see if I wanted to keep them or not, actually. And then I've decided that, oh yeah, actually, it looks really good. It's renewed my interest in reading them. So nothing, I just wanted to say, like, it's working great, and I'm excited I did this. Okay, back to the original video. Ooh. It's reading / unhauling / making tough decisions time. You can follow through by watching my now quarterly wrap-ups, where I'll update you on the numbers and just the highlights. Also, you can follow me on Storygraph. Let me know if there is any book here that you think I should prioritize, or any book here that you think I should definitely like. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this really chaotic video. Let me know in the comments down below any thoughts on any books, or if you have any sort of unhaul projects coming up. That's all. See you next time.